Japan, a nation celebrated for its enduring traditions and meticulous cultural preservation, has been a singular exception among the wealthiest countries due to its virtually non-existent immigration policies. Today, a seismic shift is taking place as the island nation begins to unlock the doors to the world. For a country deeply rooted in a tradition of self-commitment, this transformation is indeed revolutionary. It prompts us to ask, why is this happening now? What were the historical reasons for Japan's self-imposed isolation, and what will the consequences of this radical shift be for its future? To understand Japan's current stance, it is necessary to delve into the historical trajectory. The country's reticence towards immigration did not happen in a vacuum, but is inextricably linked to centuries of conscious cultural preservation efforts. During the 17th century, as Europe extended its colonial reaches across Asia, Japan perceived the potential of cultural erosion and security threats. In response, the country chose an isolated strategy. In 1633, the Sakoku policy was introduced, imposing a significant limitation on the introduction of Western countries and neighboring nations, such as China and Korea, for the next 250 years. This period of self-imposed isolation, during which all foreigners were expelled and Japanese citizens were forbidden from leaving the country, was stricter and more prolonged than any other modern nation has ever experienced. This era, known as the Sakoku period, is often viewed with a degree of nostalgia. While much of the world was grappling with colonialization and war, Japan enjoyed an extended period of tranquility, stability, and prosperity, free from outside influence. This isolation molded a unique societal structure, marked by complex societal norms and cultural practices that are often inscrutable to outsiders. Even today, integrating into Japan's society presents a formidable challenge for foreigners, a situation that has been intensified by Japan's rigorous immigration regulations. Even after its reintegration into the global political and trading community, Japan held on to elements of its isolationist past well into the modern era. The government has made substantial investments in preserving its cultural heritage, facilitated by one of the strictest immigration policies worldwide. Post-World War II, securing asylum, citizenship, or even long-term residence in Japan was an extremely challenging task. This policy of minimizing the number of foreigners, including skilled laborers, combined with the complexities of Japanese society, has resulted in one of the lowest proportions of foreign-born populations among developed nations. However, as the sun rises on a new day, so too it shines on the dawn of a significant change for Japan. With its history of strict immigration policies, why is Japan now steering towards a path of transformation? What compelling factors are instigating this pivotal change in Japan's long-held immigration stance? The driving force behind this shift lies in Japan's demographic trends and the economic implications they hold. The post-World War II period witnessed an extraordinary economic recovery in Japan, often referred to as the Japanese economic miracle. This prosperity, however, was accompanied by a severe decline in fertility rates. As societal values shifted with the economic boom, more and more Japanese people chose to prioritize their careers over starting families, leading to a fall in birth rates. This change eventually led to stagnation and, in the past decade, a decrease in the population growth that once fueled Japan's miraculous economic recovery. Today, Japan is confronted with a severe demographic crisis. Its rapidly aging population, combined with low fertility rates, presents a unique and daunting challenge, a dwindling workforce and a swelling elderly population. As the number of active workers decreases and the number of retirees reliant on state pensions increases, the Japanese economy, already struggling with stagnation, is pushed into a precarious position. Projections suggest that Japan could lose up to a third of its population over the next 50 years, a demographic shift with potentially disastrous economic consequences. To counter declining birth rates, most developed nations have looked towards immigration as a solution to sustain their economies. By infusing foreign labor into the workforce, population numbers are bolstered and a much-needed stimulus for economic growth is provided. However, Japan's stringent immigration policies and cultural complexities have, until now, prevented it from reaping the benefits of immigration, leaving it to grapple with the demographic crisis alone. Faced with this impending economic challenge, Japan has subtly begun to shift its stance on immigration. In a landmark policy change in 2013, the nation started to welcome hundreds of thousands of immigrants. Further immigration reform 4 years ago paved the way for a substantial influx of foreign workers, particularly those highly skilled, offering them opportunities to settle indefinitely. This policy change isn't a temporary fix, but indicates Japan's strategic long-term shift, an attempt to bolster its aging and declining population. Since these policy shifts, the number of foreigners in Japan has tripled since 1990, reaching a historic high of 3 million at the end of 2022. The government projects that by 2070, foreign-born individuals will make up 10% of Japan's population, a demographic transformation unheard of in the country's history. In a surprising turn of events, a majority of the Japanese population seems to be accepting this change, with nearly 70% acknowledging the benefits of increased immigration. This likely represents an understanding of the gravity of the issue the nation faces. Cities like Tokyo are experiencing a demographic revolution, with foreigners making up 1 in 10 people in their 20s. This unprecedented influx of immigrants will have far-reaching implications for Japan's socio-cultural fabric. Just as Europe underwent a transformation with the rise in multiculturalism, so too will Japan. But what will this mean for Japan moving forward? Will this step lead to the dilution of Japan's unique culture, or will it instead result in a rich cultural renaissance? Will the increase in diversity provide the necessary boost to the Japanese economy or introduce a fresh set of challenges? While the answers to these questions lie in the future, it's worth delving into the potential opportunities and challenges this shift might present. On the one hand, the infusion of new cultures and ideas could stimulate a cultural revival, contributing to an enrichment of Japanese society. The introduction of fresh perspectives and approaches could lead to innovation in various fields, driving economic growth. Additionally, the increase in diversity could improve Japan's global standing, making it a more appealing destination for international businesses and investments. On the other hand, this change will not be without challenges. One significant issue could be the integration of immigrants into Japanese society, given the complex norms and language. This could potentially lead to social friction and exacerbate inequalities. Moreover, there's the question of whether Japan's infrastructure and social security system are equipped to handle such a rapid increase in population diversity. To mitigate these challenges, the Japanese government will need to invest heavily in integration initiatives, such as language programs and cultural training for new arrivals. Equally crucial will be the efforts to promote understanding and acceptance among the Japanese population to foster a harmonious multicultural society. For immigrants, moving to Japan presents its own set of challenges and opportunities. On the upside, they have the chance to experience and contribute to a society that seamlessly blends tradition with modernity, offering a unique cultural experience. On the downside, the complexities of Japanese society, coupled with potential language barriers, may make integration difficult. For the Japanese locals, this change may necessitate a shift in mindsets as they learn to embrace multiculturalism. While some may view this as a loss of cultural identity, others may see it as an opportunity for cultural enrichment and economic revitalization. In the end, as Japan stands on the precipice of an era of transformation, numerous questions arise. Will this shift towards greater diversity enhance or erode Japan's unique cultural identity? Will the socioeconomic benefits outweigh the challenges that may arise? How will the global perception of Japan change in light of these developments? The world will be watching with keen interest as Japan navigates this uncharted path. This brings us to the end of this video. If you found this enlightening, please consider subscribing and sharing so that we can continue to deliver content like this. Until next time.